Day 23 leg day. So yesterday was legs, today is actually day 24. I trained chest and shoulders, but didn't end up recording it because once in a while I like to train without the camera and just get in the zone and lift. But this video is the leg video, so let's explain what I did. First things first, I killed the hamstrings. Why, you ask? Because if you start with quads, you will have absolutely no energy to hit hamstrings hard, and so your hamstrings will get neglected like what most people do with their leg training. So the first exercise is a lying leg curl. So here I go pretty heavy, but the weird thing about this machine, as I've probably said in a previous video, is that regardless of the weight I use, I usually only get around a specific rep range, that being around 8 to 10, and that is the case for today, though the pump felt absolutely ridiculous on this machine. So I did, I think, 5 or 4 sets on this machine and then moved on to the seated hamstring curls. So pretty much I did 9 sets total on hamstrings, just using the 2 hamstring machines. That's kind of all you need for hamstrings. I like to split them up and do 8 to 12 sets for each, both hamstrings and quads. Now the seated hamstring curl, the reason I bend over like this and hold on to the handles is because it gets a better stretch on my hamstring. Think about doing a deadlift, you lean forward, you get a better stretch on the hamstrings. That's what I did here, and it felt ridiculous. Hamstrings were absolutely pumped to oblivion, and so we move on to the bread and butter of all leg exercises, the good old squat. So comments saying squats aren't optimal, go ahead and spam below. I do not care, even though there aren't many people watching these videos. But I go and do squats. I warm up with a plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, and do a feeder set of 1 rep with 4 plates. I do this because I don't want to just jump into the heaviest set without knowing what the weight feels like. So let's say here 4 plates felt extremely heavy, which it's not supposed to because it's like a lighter type top set for me at this point. So if it was somehow feeling ridiculously heavy, I would drop the weight and do a working set with something else. If it was feeling stupidly light, I would increase the weight and do my top set with the higher weight. Today it just felt mediocre, so I went with 4 plates being the top set, and I go in here absolutely hyped. I'm screaming my head off here like Tom Platz. Bro, I'm literally grunting. I'm doing everything that would get you kicked out of Planet Fitness. I'm very surprised that I've not been confronted for my disruptive behavior at the gym, if you will. But anyways, I get 8 reps with 405 here on the squat. I hit depth pretty much all the time. You can argue with me, I don't give a shit. I hit parallel, that's all you need to do in terms of depth. Plus I have long femurs, so my range of motion is more than most of you. My femurs are longer than most people, so my range of motion is longer. Funny thing here is I actually almost forget to rack the weight. Not forget, I literally almost died trying to rack the weight. I don't know why, but I set the handles too high this time, and apparently I nearly killed myself after a death set of 8 reps with 405. So that set was really difficult. I still feel like muscular-wise, I had another rep or 2 in me. It's just cardiovascularly, I was limited, and that's the problem with doing a lot of reps for squats. But I got 8 reps, I'm pretty happy with that. Next week, I'll probably move up to 425. 365 is the back off set. Now watch this, okay? I did 8 sets with a weight that was 40 pounds heavier. So how many reps do you think I would hit with this kind of weight? Maybe around 8, maybe 10. I get 5 reps. I don't understand why this happens to me. Maybe I just went completely balls to the wall with the other set. I even rested like 4 or 5 minutes. It just ended up being a lot more difficult. But it is what it is. It's a back off set just to pump more blood into the legs before we absolutely torture it with leg press. So leg press is an exercise that I've been doing a little differently lately. Because I don't feel like loading up so many plates, I lower the amount of weight I use and instead control the eccentric a lot more. Now, I've never been the biggest fan of slow and controlled reps, but here it really helps a lot, especially when you have a closer stance and you really slow down the eccentric. The quads get absolutely decimated. And to make matters worse, I superset it with sissy squats, which is absolutely a ridiculously disgusting pump, which will just blow your quads out. I don't even know. So 3 sets here of the superset with sissy squats, 2 sets, 2 working sets of back squats. That leaves a good 3 sets left over for the good old leg extension. And I do a couple drop sets here as well. Very simple leg workout. This is kind of how I get big legs. You'll notice on a leg extension, I'm just throwing around the stack, and occasionally on a couple of the sets, I will allow my ass to come off the seat. Now, this is illegal pretty much in most high school gyms, but to me, it works because if you let your ass come off the bench, you stretch the top part of your quad, and this is a big reason why. And this is something that Tom Platz, the quad father himself, ended up doing. So I think it's going to work just a little bit, don't you think? Kind of filmed the camera angle in a little stupid way with the leg extensions here, but you get to see my quads and all their fatness. I really feel like, although they're the biggest part, the biggest muscle, there's a big difference there. The biggest muscle in my body, they are not as defined as I would want them to be. I have no vascularity in my legs. It's all just a matter of getting leaner. So when I do end up dieting for a show, my quads will look a lot leaner. But that's pretty much as simple as it gets in terms of legs. I mean, there's nothing really here that was special or complicated. So that is pretty much it for the leg day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. And I'll see you in the next training day, which will probably be arms because I didn't record chest and shoulders. See ya.